It's a starting five with Sleepers Media. I'm Greg Waddell. That's Carter Elliott. This is a show that we do in the off season every single week. 5 hottest topics in basketball. You're going to hear from us. If you're new to the channel, by the way, hello. Shout out to you. We got a bunch of people watching our stuff. The Terrence Shannon situation turned out to be pretty damn good for viewership, so we appreciate you. Some are calling us clickbait sleeps. Cart, do you want to respond to those allegations?
I can't hear them because they ain't got a globe.
You're very proud of the globe, my friend.
Because it's not getting the respect it deserves.
Is there anything special going on with the globe? Like, is there a hidden meaning here that I don't know about?
I mean, you just don't see many globes like that. Like, you see your typical like blue globe with like the silver, but that has a gold stand on it. It's like a little beige, sturdy. I don't know. I just feel like if I'm listening to somebody talk, if they got a globe in the background, I'm a little more locked in as if they don't have a globe.
How rattled are you going to be when I have a globe for our next episode?
That'll be. I'm not going to be rattled by that because you don't truly embrace globes. You do it only because I have a globe.
Oh, there's a globe culture?
Yeah. Don't be a globe clout chaser. It's not good.
All right. Call globes.
But positivity. Look at us just start with negativity off of it.
No, yeah, we're going to stay positive. I think we have some topics that I think can be viewed positively for you. I'm not going to shit on your team today. So maybe you'll shit on mine for a change. That would be fun. Let's jump right in. First topic. Big weekend of off-season developments for Michigan basketball. Frankie Collins is in the portal. Jaelin Llewellyn is on the roster. Princeton guard, transferring in to Michigan. Terrence Shannon is at Illinois. And the midnight deadline last night passed without any other names publicly announcing they are in the portal, although there is speculation within the next 48 hours, another name could be mentioned for Michigan. A lot of turmoil. Some scholarships are going to be open. A lot of questions on who's on this roster. And the third consecutive year that basically an Ivy League / mid-major point guard is going to be my starting point guard card. What do you make of that?
There's a couple angles that I could come at this for one. One, the trend of transfer point guards coming in and being impactful and being basically, adding to wins, adding to positive things for a basketball team is not the trend that really trends in the right direction. But also when you look at this at the end of the day, like, yeah, Frankie could turn into a really good player. I think he showed some things towards the end of the year, but like you're losing a point guard who, he literally can't shoot. Like he can't. Like that might develop, but right now, like he's not even showing signs at the free throw line that he'll be able to be a good shooter down the line. Now you got a guy like Llewellyn coming in who's 2-time, all Ivy, 3-time all Ivy, actually, I think, played on one of the better teams in the Ivy League. He was highly sought after in the transfer market. I like his game a lot, to be honest. I think that it's an upgrade from where Frankie would have been at this season. If there was a way to keep Frankie and get Jaelin, I think that would have been the best case scenario. But unfortunately, this is the downside of the transfer market, the transfer portal. Like you can't just add a bunch of people and everyone can't stay. So I'm sure Frankie's going to, land in the right situation. I'm assuming he'll move back closer to home in the West Coast. I know he's from Nevada, so maybe UNLV could be possible. They've added a couple transfers this past season. So I don't know. All in all, I think it's a positive for Michigan, and I don't know if you'll feel the same way, or maybe you're starting to come around.
I don't feel the same way, and okay, I'm pretty surprised that you didn't put Michigan on blast there. I thought that was a prime opportunity for you to get a little revenge at all the jokes that I've made at your expense for what Michigan State's done in the portal. Quickly, here's Jaelin Llewellyn, his first 2 seasons. He's played 3 seasons at Princeton, right? Here's Jaelin Llewellyn, some numbers, his first 2 seasons. He played 33 minutes a game his first 2 years. Shot 36% from the floor on over 12 attempts per game. Shot 28% from 3 on over 5 attempts per game. shot 72% from free throw on 3 attempts per game. That's supposed to be an elite shooter at the Ivy League level. He's the shooting upgrade.
Is he referred to as an elite shooter?
I mean, I think it's gotten mixed up because everyone's saying, oh, he's a better shooter than Kobe. I'm a better shooter than Kobe. My mom is a better shooter than Kobe, or not Kobe, Frankie. Sorry. Like, I'm getting my guards who are probably going to hit the portal mixed up for Michigan. Everyone's a better shooter than Frankie, right? Frankie shot 46% from free throw or whatever it was. Jaelin Llewellyn is a volume inefficient shooter in the Ivy League.
Michigan's had good success with that in the past.
Have they? Like
Mike Smith?
Mike Smith started next to a team that went pro at the 3-4-5. Like
I know, but I'm just saying there has been a sample size of players that Michigan has got from the Ivy League, and they came in and they have kind of shook the inefficiency tag.
They've been fine. Like you don't win national championships with fine card. And I get like this is not a dig, but Michigan State's in a different spot. They need warm bodies right now.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Like
no.
Now,
Before we move on, you take that back because that was a dig of all digs.
I don't mean
How dare you?
A dig. I don't mean it to be a dig.
Your team. Stick to your team.
I will stick to my team. I'm sorry. Look, I would argue that guard play has been the number one thing that has held Michigan back from winning championships in the last 3 seasons. Even arguably going back to the Xavier Simpson era. Like, Xavier Simpson was a really good college point guard. He's a tough guy to win championships with. And I know he started at point guard on a national championship contending team. He did. Again, when you have 5 pros around him, it doesn't matter who's at point guard. When you don't have 5 pros on the roster, you need a really dynamic guard. Go back the last 25 years and find me a team that won a national championship that didn't have a pro in the backcourt. And look, Mike Smith, was he good at Michigan? Yeah. Did he play a role? Yeah. He was the 5th option next to a bunch of pros. If Jaelin Llewellyn could play that role, I'd love him. Devontae Jones, how was he last year? Bubble team, 2nd option, pretty inefficient. Not that great. Like, did he put up numbers some games? Was he all Big Ten? No. Was Mike Smith all Big Ten? No. I think Jaelin Llewellyn is a significant drop-off from Devontae Jones and Mike Smith. Based on everything I've seen, all the film that I've seen on Llewellyn, he literally reminds me of Dwayne Washington Jr. with his feet stuck in cement and 2 inches smaller. He's slow. He honestly cannot blow by Ivy League defenders. He needs like triple combos just to get to the rim in the Ivy League. And he's a volume shooter that misses a ton of shots against Ivy League defenders. So that's my point guard. Yeah, I get it. He's played 30 minutes in a college game before. We need someone who's done that. Here's the biggest problem with this, Cart. If you bring in a mid-major point guard, and to your point, mid-major point guards don't do well at the highest level. None of them ever turn into like all conference types. They're just minutes eaters. They're Tyson Walkers. That's what mid-major point guards are. You want to get elite guard play from the portal? You can do that. Go get Kendrick Davis. Go get Nigel Pack. Go get a guy from a high major who's already an all-conference player. You know what you're getting. Mid-majors don't go up and get better. They get worse. And if Michigan's now made this a trend, which I think it's a trend. I've argued this in the forums all weekend and I got slandered for it. This is a trend. I don't know how it's not. Every year of the Juwan Howard era, he's handed the keys to a mid-major at the expense of a guy he should be recruiting and developing. I don't blame Frankie for transferring at all. Like, what's he supposed to do? Sit while Llewellyn plays 32 minutes a game this year and, oh, maybe next year I get my chance. No, Llewellyn can be here for 2 years if he wants to. And who knows if he will. And even if he's not, next year, aren't you just going to argue the same shit? If Frankie,
maybe there for sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Maybe there for 2 years.
I think he can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I thought he was a grad transfer.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Wrong on that, but
go ahead. You were cooking.
No, I just like, when do we stop arguing this? Because the argument is, well, Michigan has nobody who's been proven in a regular role to play point guard. Okay. Next year, if Llewellyn leaves, we're in the same spot. Are we going to give the keys to Doug McDaniel then? No, we're going to say we need somebody from the portal. And then Doug's going to be a sophomore the next year, and he's still not going to have significant minutes. And we're going to say we need somebody from the portal. Like, At some point, trust the dudes you recruit. You had the #1 class in the country last year. Develop them. I don't want to see Frankie Collins go to Seton Hall under Shaheen Holloway and be a killer. I want to see him go for 16-4 like he did in the first round of the NCAA tournament when he finally played a starter role for Michigan. Like, I think Frankie Collins is a really high ceiling player. I know he can't shoot, and I hate guys that can't shoot. I really do, but he's dynamic as hell. He has the makings of an elite defender in the backcourt. He's tenacious. He has really good vision. He can get to the rim, and he started getting more comfortable late in the season. And I think it's a major loss that Michigan fans are kind of just like wiping their hands with because, he couldn't shoot, whatever. But Llewellyn's not a higher ceiling player than Frankie next year. Is he higher floor? I guess, but big fucking whoop cart. We got the higher floor Ivy League guy who will make sure we go at least 17-14 again. Yay.
Did you not want to add a guard at all in this transfer portal?
No, I did want to add a guard. And I was fine taking Llewellyn if he was going to be like a body at the 2. Like if Llewellyn was going to start at the 2 over Kobe next to Frankie, okay, whatever. I hope he doesn't play 30 minutes a game, but that's fine. But my larger issue here is like, I think the management of this situation was very poorly done. Like, I get you got to be a little, I don't know, like this is a little over dramatic to say, but if you're going to recruit a transfer portal guard and it's going to make Frankie Collins leave, he has to be an elite player that you get. Otherwise, like, work with Frankie to figure out who you can get that won't piss him off. And if Frankie tells you straight up, I'm leaving, then go get a better guard than Jaelin Llewellyn.
Okay. I just, this is where I'm coming from on this. You know, and this might just be me because I'm a Michigan State fan and I'm not in the camp of don't get good players because you don't want to lose certain players. Like, is Frankie Collins really a player worth holding up, not getting a good player in the transfer portal?
It depends on your view of Jaelin Llewellyn. I think Jaelin Llewellyn is not going to be an impactful player for Michigan. If others disagree, that's fair. I respect that. And then their answer is different to the question you just asked. For me personally, I don't think Llewellyn has a high ceiling at all. I think he's a minutes eater. And we just lost our 4-star point guard who did some really good things in the NCAA tournament with 3 years left for 1.5 years of a mid-major guy who's really inefficient.
Yeah. Well, if he was a wing, I'd tell him to come on down to East Lansing, but unfortunately,
I want to compare it to one Michigan State situation quickly, because I think this is as spot on as you can be with how you process some of this and how, like, fans should be a little more patient with this shit. I view Llewellyn as, at best, a Tyson Walker type player. I view Frankie Collins as pretty 1-for-1 with what AJ Hoggard is turning into. Okay. Now, last year, going into the season, nobody on the Michigan State side would have argued we need Tyson Walker. We need this transfer. We don't trust AJ Hoggard. We need someone that we can come in and stabilize the backcourt with. You and I said it. We were team Tyson Walker. Everybody was. Tyson shows up. He's just not that good. AJ Hoggard, minute split, 50-50. Hoggard really starts developing down the course of the season. Now we're going into next year, Cart. AJ Hoggard's junior year. The keys to the team belong in AJ Hoggard's hands. And Michigan's not ever going to get to that point because their AJ Hoggard just bounced because he feels disrespected that we're giving the keys to Jaelin Llewellyn, a.k.a. Tyson Walker. And that's, again, Tyson Walker had a higher floor than AJ Hoggard. You lost the guy who's higher ceiling. And we're never going to grow the program if we keep losing those guys for 1-year stopgap guys who aren't all conference potential players. Does that make sense?
It does, but also there's a weird world where he could be all conference because guard play is terrible in the Big Ten.
I'm willing to do dramatic, stupid things. We can do one of our bets. Llewellyn will not make an all-conference team.
I mean, I'm definitely not going to bet on his side, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow ended up there. Guard play is not that great in the Big Ten this year. That's why another word that, like, I get where Michigan fans are coming from, but also, like, this is, I don't know. if you don't want to call it an upgrade, it's not something that's going to kill the pro. It's not something that's going to kill you this year.
I mean, they got to make, unless they add another guard, who knows? They got to make 80 minutes in the backcourt happen between Jaelin Llewellyn, Kobe Buffkin, and Doug McDaniel.
I still can't believe Frankie left. I mean, I get that Llewellyn's getting it, but like he would have got minutes. Like there's minutes in the backcourt to be had.
Yeah, some people say it was NIL related. I don't buy that. If you look at his list of teams, it doesn't appear to be NIL related.
What is his list of teams, by the way? I didn't see him put out a list.
Everyone suspects the winner to be Arizona State. Seton Hall was on it. Tennessee was on it. Texas A&M.
Arizona State, please don't do that, Frankie.
I made a joke that he's going to transfer to Arizona State as a sophomore. It's going to go horrible. He's going to sit out, transfer as a junior, and then play his senior year at Harvard under Tommy Amaker, have a first-year all-conference Ivy League year, and grad transfer back to Michigan. Because by 2024, 2025, Cart, Christian Anderson, you can't hand the keys to him. We don't know what he looks like. We need a proven high-floor player. We need a proven high-floor player. And who better than Frankie Collins 4 years from now? I hate Michigan fans sometimes, man. I really do. Like, look, every fan base does this, but I swear to God, Juwan Howard could just tell Hunter Dickinson, we don't need you anymore. And Michigan fans would convince themselves it's a good thing. Like, there's so much maize-colored glasses going on. It bothers me. It's okay to be like, damn, Frankie Collins was a high potential player, even if he wasn't near that potential yet. Like losing him for an average Ivy League guy is a disastrous development.
Yeah, you got to find a way not to lose him. There's other guys in the team you could have. I would have rather lost before Frankie.
Exactly. All right. Let's talk positive. Jaxon Kohler, Michigan State future starting center, had a big week at the Iverson Classic. There's a viral clip of him dunking on Terrace Reed. My favorite part of that viral clip is that after he dunks on future Michigan center Terrace Reed, future Michigan guard Jet Howard comes and like shoves him in the chest and is hyping him up. We got to talk to Jet about that. Not the greatest move, but it was a really nice move by Kohler. Kohler is looking more and more the part of a ready-to-play freshman center, and Tom Izzo's behavior in the transfer portal, which is non-existent, seems to be backing that up.
Okay, I feel like this is a good time for me to make my official statement because anybody who follows me on Twitter or has heard any of the things I said on any of the shows that I've done, it has been centered around getting a center that is capable of playing, I don't know, like actually solid minutes, not just eating up minutes like you spoke to earlier. When I say that, that is completely separate from the fact of what I think Jaxon Kohler can be as a Michigan State player. I think that offensively, especially, Jaxon Kohler, from the minute he steps on campus, is going to be a problem. Like, he is going to be a problem. He has a plethora of moves. He's able to shoot from the outside. I mean, his footwork is absolutely just some of the best you'll ever see, honestly, at the high school level. You just don't really see footwork like that anymore. Now, am I confident coming in to any year with Jaxon Kohler being basically my only big man? No. And that's not a slight to Jaxon Kohler at all. Jaxon Kohler can come in next year and start, I think. I think Jaxon Kohler right now is better than Matty Sissoko. But what happens when in the college game, Jaxon Kohler as a freshman picks up 2 silly fouls quickly? Then what are we going to do? Because he's sitting the rest of the half. Tom Izzo's not going to play with 2 fouls. Then you're telling me that our backup is Matty Sissoko, and that's who we're banking on to. That's who we're calling in. That's who we're phoning in to come take over all the minutes. No, we need more depth at the big man position. Big man depth is so key in basketball, especially college basketball, because foul trouble is so prevalent. We need to be able to have somebody else play besides Kohler. Kohler's not going to play 40 minutes a game. There are minutes at the center spot still. So Joseph Jamal, my sweet Wisconsin Stevens Point Prince, is just not a center. I love him, but he's not. Okay. So yes, it is a great development to see what Kohler's been able to do in these all-star games and stuff like that. Yes, he put, whatever that arch monument is, Eddie Curry, that's going to Michigan, on an absolute poster. But, it's still, it's great, but there's still issues. I feel like we still need a big man, and we're not getting one, by the way. Like, that's not happening. Like, I'm letting it go because it's not happening. We're not getting one.
Arch monument Eddie Curry would be a great college backup, by the way, which is all Terrace Reed is going to be asked to do. Some programs actually have healthy center rotations, so you don't ask too much of your recruits. You'll learn something about that next year. Jaxon is really good. My official Jaxon Kohler statement: I think he's a killer. He's my favorite Michigan State recruit in 4 years, I think. I'm trying to remember anybody I've been as excited about for Jaxon Kohler, and you got to go way back at this point.
Probably since Jaron.
Yeah, I mean, since Jaron, part of the Michigan State problem to me is the recruiting classes.
I was pretty excited for Tillman personally.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, after seeing him, yeah, I was. But as a high schooler, Kohler is the most exciting Michigan State big man since the McDonald's All-American class. Now, Kohler, first of all, Kohler's very active online, which I like. It's entertaining. He's going back and forth. Anytime someone disrespects him, he sees it. I had a tweet last week that if Jaxon Kohler averages 14-7 on an Elite 8 team, I will buy my wife a dog and name it Jackson. And he favorited that tweet. So Jaxon probably is going to see this somehow. DK posts a lot of Jaxon Kohler stuff, and Jaxon interacts with it. There were defensive concerns put on Twitter about Jaxon Kohler. Jaxon hit him up with videos of him in the sand. He's been working. He has been working, by the way. His body looks different from what it looked like when we interviewed him 9 months ago. You said it. He has all the footwork stuff. He has the bag on the post. He can shoot. He can step outside. He was doing some hesitation moves that I saw in this Iverson Classic that I hadn't seen him do before. Frankly, I don't really see any college bigs doing. He's just a problem offensively. The problem with Jaxon Kohler is he's 6'9", 250. How do you hold up in the Big Ten as a true freshman center that's 6'9", 250? Now, can he still grow a little more? Maybe. The Michigan State weight program should do wonders for him, just like it did Marcus Bingham over 4 years. We'll see. I have my questions there. Jaxon Kohler's, but again, that was a joke. Marcus Bingham's work ethic was the problem. Jaxon Kohler's work ethic is never going to be the problem. But he has a long way to go, right? He has a long way to go to be a solid defensive option as a center. That doesn't mean he's not Michigan State's best option next year. That doesn't mean he's not a 10 points a game guy. I think he will be, especially if Izzo doesn't add anybody. He's going to have to score 10, 12 points a game. But I think there's been some comparisons to can he do what Hunter Dickinson did as a freshman? That's tough. Hunter Dickinson was 7'1", right? And I just think a little more college ready than Kohler, even with all the offensive moves.
Yeah, you just physically, Hunter was just different. 7'1", 2, I don't even know, 260, 270.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter was a week off of dominating Evan Mobley, the number 1 player in that class, before he showed up in Ann Arbor. Kohler, yeah. Kohler's a great prospect, but he has a little ways to go to get there.
Right. It's not fair. It's not fair to Kohler just to throw him out there it's just not fair to him. And it's not a situation that we should be in. That's what really kills me. And I hate that because I want a center still, it's looked at as I'm not a Jaxon Kohler guy, which is complete opposite of how I feel. I was excited when he committed. Shit, we had him on Unscripted. I'm a big time Jaxon Kohler fan. I can still be that and still want the fact that Matty Sissoko is not my backup center. I get what people are saying. People come to me Matty might improve. That's good for you. If that's what you want to do and put your eggs in that basket and you want your health to depend and your sanity to depend on Matty Sissoko backup minutes, you go ahead and do that. I prefer not to. Doesn't seem like the great thing to do. I'd rather be somewhere else with that. So it's positive. It's a positive needed in a summer where there's been literally, I don't even know if there's been positives or negatives. There's been nothing. It's just been stagnant.
You know,
haven't really done much. You have a little blip right here. Michael Parrish, nothing. Michael Parrish visits, nothing. That's our summer.
Really high peak there with Michael Parrish.
Just
compare
unbelievable, man.
that to my weekend. It's like Terrence Shannon's gone. Amani Bates is gone. Like it's the wildest weekend. You know who's really excited that Michigan State's not recruiting a center?
Who?
Jaxon Kohler. Like if there's any solace in this, Jaxon Kohler is very aware of the fact that Michigan State fans are freaking out that they don't have a center. And we talk about the petty gene all the time. Jaxon seems like the type to have the petty gene card. And I say that as a compliment. Like, again, the man is very online. The man, I said this to State fans who were joking when Hunter Dickinson came back. Jaxon Kohler is cut straight from the Hunter Dickinson cloth. Like, in here, those two are identical to me. And I think that's a good thing for on the basketball court for Jaxon Kohler. But man, rival fans are going to despise this kid. He's going to give so many teams nightmares. And I think he's got the petty gene already down. He's like, oh, people really don't think I can be a star at center next year. Let me hit this sand work real quick.
Yeah, I love that. I love that sand work. But you don't want to know something about the sand? The sand's measurements are 7 feet. All right. You got to guard the Zach Edey's. You got to guard the Hunter Dickinsons.
Yeah, that looks like 2 buckets to me.
Ryan Young went to Duke. How the fuck can't we get Ryan Young?
You know, though, a wise man did once say, you got to guard me on the other end, Cart. And if Zach Edey has to guard Jaxon Kohler, could be food.
Could be food. Also could be in someone else's food in the first row. Like, it's... God, I don't know. I hate that I'm being put in this situation. I love Jaxon. I really do. Like, it's going to be great to have him on campus. He's an immediate upgrade from any big that I think we had last year.
I'll say this. I've talked myself into giving Kohler a shot as the starting center, but they need another body. But I hope it's a backup body. I don't want them to go out and get an impact center anymore. I want them to get Jaxon Kohler's backup.
Yes, I think Jaxon Kohler should be starting from the minute he walks on campus.
Feels weird to say that, but wow.
But he should be.
In the sand. Sand earns things. I didn't see Marcus Bingham in the sand. I didn't see Julius Marble in the sand. I don't see Matty Sissoko in the sand. You ever been in the sand, Cart?
I actually hate sand.
That might have to be our next sleeper's punishment for a lost bet is like an hour of sand work on IG.
Oh, God. That'd be terrible because I hate sand.
That would be really bad. Let's move to another Michigan State forward who has controversial things that he says online. Draymond Green was ejected from the Warriors-Grizzlies game 1 yesterday with a flagrant 2 for pulling Brandon Clark to the ground. What appeared to be a pretty standard NBA playoff foul turned into an ejection that could have swung the game negatively for the Warriors. Instead, Cart, maybe it swung it positively for the Warriors.
Okay, that's a little cute angle you're trying to take. Yeah, the at worst that should have been a flagrant 1. I can't believe it was a flagrant 2. It probably was only a flagrant 2 because it's Draymond. That's the only reason that I can think of. But the real thing we need to talk about here is the Warriors like aren't fair. Like it's just not fair that in today's team with them, like Klay Thompson's a role player. Like they just, for the fun of it, bring Steph Curry off the bench. Jordan Poole is Himothy. Like this team is really damn good. They got Gary Payton II looking like the ultimate utility guy of all time. It's crazy that this Warriors team and the fact that guys didn't even play well yesterday and they were able to win. It's a cheat code. I'm sick that the Warriors are this good. I really am.
It's special. I want people to appreciate it because I think, you know, they're a generation defining team. And I think as soon as this Warriors dynasty is gone, which could happen very soon, there's just never going to be anything like it again. And there won't be anything like it in the league immediately. That's for sure. But like watching them play is like watching a different sport be played. It's like watching art. Like, and Draymond is the biggest key to all of this, right? Like the way that Draymond moves the ball, his vision, like he forces the other 4 people on the floor to play a totally different brand of basketball. Like you got guys like Andrew Wiggins, so active, cutting off the ball. And like, I mean, even like Draymond forces guys like Curry and Clay to constantly be moving in ways they might not normally be moving just because of how good he is at seeing and creating openings. It's special stuff. Obviously, they're great. Like they elevate their role players is the thing. Like I objectively think Gary Payton Jr. is not good for as far as an NBA rotation player goes. And you're right. Like they got him out here looking like he's the second coming of like Pat Bev, but without the drama. Like Jordan Poole. What else can I say? He's my favorite player in the NBA officially. That dude's so fun. Watching him and Jaron go back and forth, the Lalu connection. They're on the same high school team, dude. That's insane.
Won a national championship. Shout
out Tiger Campbell. And there were other dudes on that team too that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, no, they definitely had some other like 6D1 guys, but it's just crazy to me that at any point of the game yesterday on defense, you said like they do a pick and roll, right? And they kick. And basically you're put in a situation where you either got to run at Jordan Poole or you got to run at Klay Thompson. And God forbid you don't show on that screen. Steph Curry's coming off a screen and you're not hedging hard. It's actually sick, twisted offense. And then if you do double the ball screen, you swing it to Draymond up top. He's by himself. He drives the lane. He could have a layup if he wants to, but he's probably going to make the right play and someone's going to cut and get a wide open shot.
He doesn't
like, how do you stop that?
He doesn't want the layups.
I'm just saying, like, how do you stop that?
I have this gut feeling someday we're going to throw this clip in the archives, but I think Ben Simmons is going to end up a Warrior someday. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think Ben Simmons is going to end up in the Draymond spot, and that's going to end up being like the final boss version of these Golden State Warriors. Like whenever Draymond decides to hang it up and be a full-time podcaster, somehow Ben Simmons is going to take that role, and he's going to be.
I also love that Draymond literally immediately podcasted directly after the game.
Yeah, that's different, man. The foul was horrible. He never should have been ejected. Also, I feel like that's a problem across the league right now, though, is like now with the reviews, anybody who does a playoff foul gets a flagrant for it, whether it's a 1 or a 2. And like you have to allow for some leeway for playoff fouls to happen. Otherwise, like coaches got to start instructing people to like, you can't wrap a dude up. Even if it's a light wrap up, that's going to be a flagrant based on the rule. So I hate seeing that though. It seems like it is messing with the potential intensity of these series.
Yeah. Playoff fouls are a thing.
Yeah. And we need to let
no one wants to watch a game without Draymond. That's when does common sense come in for refs? Like, does it ever get in the back of their head? Like, I shouldn't eject Draymond. Like that'll make this game worse.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Also, my parlay lost. I had a same game parlay. Jordan Poole over 20 points. Jordan Poole 4 threes. Warriors money line. Draymond triple double. He had 6, 4, and 3 at half. So it might not have happened. Probably wouldn't happen. But there was a chance, Card. That had life.
Oh, so much life.
Tough break.
It's a very tough break. But the Warriors won.
Warriors did win, which was good. Let's move to the larger NBA playoffs as a whole. It's been a while since we really addressed this. The last time we talked NBA playoffs, we angrily hung up on each other with some Kevin Durant slander being thrown my way to you. Look, we don't even need to revisit that necessarily, but we're into this conference semifinals now. We saw Giannis have an off shooting night, but a win nonetheless against Boston. We saw the Warriors handle the clutch moments of the game against the Grizz. We're about to see the other side of the games coming this week. What do you think at this point in the playoffs? Who do you think is going to win the title? Because it feels like it's pretty open still.
It does. Originally, I came into this saying that before the playoffs started, the Suns would win it all. And I think I'm going to stay strong with that pick. I think the Suns are going to win it all, get it done this year. But my sleeper pick, I guess it's not even a sleeper pick, but my second pick would be for the Bucks to repeat. I think the Bucks have a chance to repeat, especially if they get healthy Middleton back. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best basketball player in the world right now, and I don't think it's up for argument. He is the best basketball player in the world right now.
Did you feel differently a week and a half ago? You did, I think, right?
I didn't, because I was basing it off of last year's playoff run. And to me, we talk about that run. We talk about what he did, 50-point closeout game in the finals. Like, until someone does something better than that in the playoffs and like he goes out, he's the best player in the world. The playoffs is what matters. And that was the last big playoff performance in the biggest game of the year that he had, on a knee that was damn near almost linguini. So like, I just don't think you could really argue with the fact that he's the best player in the world right now. And he's doing it on both ends as well.
Yeah, I mean, he is. When you do what he did in the finals, you deserve that title. I've been standing for that for all of the offseason into this season. And look, I think there's levels to superstardom. I do. And there are a very small few transcendent players who can win a championship with Chris Middleton as their second best player. And I don't mean that as a diss to the Bucks.
Chris Middleton's an all-star.
I know. I don't mean that as a diss to the Bucks supporting cast, because Jrue Holiday, like, he wasn't going to do it with Eric Bledsoe at point guard. Jrue Holiday was a huge adjustment or development. Brook Lopez plays a really good role. Even the role guys, shooters like Pat Connaughton, come off the bench and do good things. Like, they fit.
Oh, they don't. Hey, don't forget my man Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis, the crazy eyes. Like, I love the roster they've built, but still, like, let's be very clear. Chris Middleton is Chris Middleton. Okay. As the second best player on a title team, only a transcendent top tier level guy is going to get that done. It just is what it is. And that's who Giannis is. And the sooner people realize that, the better. There's levels to superstardom. Like, people keep telling me this is the Celtics year. I don't know that it is. Like, Jason Tatum's phenomenal. He's one of the probably 5 best players in the league right now. I don't know that Jason Tatum is going to be the 1A on a title team, maybe ever. And if it is ever, like, it's not for 5 more years. Like, there's levels to superstardom. There's levels. There's guys who can't win with, James Harden, Chris Paul, all those guys as their second. There's guys who can't win with Kyrie Irving as their second. There's guys who can win with no matter who they are next to. And that's Giannis right now. He's transcendent. He is the closest thing we've seen to LeBron in his prime. And what I want to see, I want to see Bucks Warriors in the finals, because that would be a throwback LeBron versus the Warriors type series. The team versus the player. And right now, the player's on top of the world. Giannis owns this league, but I think you're hard pressed to find a team playing better than the Warriors right now.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, even before that, a Western Conference Finals of the Suns and Warriors.
That'd be fun.
Because that could happen, right? They are on opposite.
Yeah, it's going to happen barring a Suns upset. I know Book was hurt, but the Suns struggling with the Pelicans a little bit scared me pretty big. Because even like when Book was healthy, they were essentially in like a dead heat with the Pelicans. So
yeah,
I'm a little worried about the Suns right now. I like the Suns a lot. Chris Paul has totally swung me. I love that dude right now. But
wow, for anyone who has been with the Sleeper since day one, that is something that's never ever been said on this pod.
Yeah,
by Gregory.
I just don't like losers. I don't like guys who flame out in the playoffs for 17 consecutive years. But right now, Chris Paul's 14 for 14 and carrying his team through elimination games. So I give credit where credit's due. I think if the Suns play the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, though, the Warriors win in 5. I don't think that's a series. I think they're that different right now. I really do.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the Suns would do strategy-wise, just because I feel like playing a true center doesn't always work out against the Warriors. So with guys like Aiden, I don't know what they do with that necessarily. Yeah. But I think it'd make for a really good series. 5 is a little disrespectful.
I think they'd play Ayton off the floor, to your point, and I think Jay Crowder is literally like a human beanbag right now. He just doesn't do anything. He sits there and air balls. Like, it's disgusting behavior. So yeah, I'm all in on the Warriors, man. I think it's their title to lose, except Giannis, that transcendent guy, is still in the league. So it's technically Giannis's title to still lose. See what
So
happens.
so you are with the Warriors, correct? You and Deion Hill forward.
I'm rooting for the Warriors because Jordan Poole is my favorite player in NBA history. And I was, you knew this, I was a Warriors stan in the original runs too. Like, I was always
True.
Curry over LeBron. I was always Curry's the best player in the league, get him his titles. And this helps my Kevin Durant agenda if the Warriors win a title after KD left again. So
Okay.
I'm with it. Go Warriors. All right, final topic. NIL stuff was popping off over the weekend, and we haven't really addressed it yet. We had Isaiah Wong essentially say, pay me or I'm hitting the portal. And everybody freaked out about that. Everybody in the game was like, this is pay for play. This isn't NIL. Oh my gosh, our sport is broken. What's going to happen here? Isaiah Wong, I don't know what happened over the weekend, but he released a statement that was like, I apologize. Like, after talking to my family, I need to choose my words a lot more wisely than that. But you and I were kind of texting on the side when that happened. We kind of loved that.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. How come this new guy gets to come in here and get this money when I brought y'all to a damn Elite Eight? I feel it. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, I feel like NIL, I get it's not supposed to be pay for play. What is pay for play? What are we doing here?
It's not supposed to be pay for play, but also, like, we're not tolerating disrespect. Like, if I'm let's bring it back to Michigan State. If I'm Jaxon Kohler and Maddie Sissoko's getting $200K, you got me fucked up. Like, I'm easily worth double of that. And if you think I'm about to play for less than $200K, then that's not happening. I respect it. I respect it when it's warranted. I think it's very warranted for Isaiah Wong. They're in the position they're in because of what he did last year for that team. And to an even truer point, Isaiah Wong was with them in the gutter. Like, he is a Miami guy. Like, he started with Miami. He's had plenty of chances to leave, and he has stuck through. And I think that should be rewarded. So it's a play thing. It's a loyalty thing. It's a respect thing. I like it. Stand on all 10 toes. Honestly, I don't even think the apology should have came out. Your words are fine. You said what needed to be said.
I agree. One of the very first rules of corporate America in this country is, if you are at a healthy workplace, you should feel encouraged to talk about your salary to other employees, because you have your best interest of your other employees at heart. One of the most corrupt things in America is when the institution you work for tries to say you cannot discuss salaries. And that's essentially what's happening here, is everybody's saying NIL was working, it's good, when we're all just hush hush and we don't talk about how much money everybody's making. Well, again, that's not a healthy workplace, okay? Like, in order to ensure workers' rights and there's no discrimination happening, it's healthy to know what each other are making. It's healthy to make sure that we hold each other to a standard of paying people what they are owed and paying people fairly and evenly and respectfully. And if Nigel Pack's going to make $800K and Isaiah Wong's going to make $150K, that's not fair. So more power to you, Isaiah. Maybe could have chosen a better way to go about it, potentially. But yeah, Cart, I have no problems with that. I want the kids to get paid, man. That's what I want. I want bags here. I want bags there. I want everybody to get a bag, and I want it to be open. I want us to all accept that. I don't care if it's pay for play. Why do I care if it's pay for play? What's wrong with pay for play?
I absolutely love this. Anyone who's saying they don't love it, this is amazing. Like, this is beautiful stuff. I love that the numbers are being released. No confidential. I want to know whose bag's the biggest. Pause. Like, I need to know.
Yeah, like,
I love it.
If Matt Ishbia wants to call DJ Wagner right now and pay him $2 million to come to East Lansing, he should be able to do so.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to be the light-skinned Matt Ishbia for Michigan State moving forward, but just without the money.
Can you explain that comparison then? If the money's
Like I'm just gonna do what I can do. Like I got like a little fund right now. I've been throwing a couple hundred into a fund every month to fund some NIL deals to get some recruits to Michigan State.
Are you gonna be the globe giver?
Right now, my Michigan State GoFundMe NIL account currently stands at $174.
Could probably get a nice globe with that, for sure.
Yeah, could.
For sure.
I
Can
could
you
pay Maddie
address?
Sissoko for that.
Can you address a status update on your potential destination as a podcaster? The people are still waiting. You said a decision is coming this week. Hashtag stay tuned. I have no idea if I still have Carter Elliott on Sleeper's payroll.
Yeah, I have one more official tomorrow with Outkick. And then after that, I plan on wrapping up and making my final decision.
Okay. You want to, like, what's the best visit you've been on so far? Any stories?
No, I think everyone's been pretty genuine with it. No one's really lied to me about what to expect coming into it. I feel like everyone's been pretty straight up about it. Also want to thank you for being so receptive during this time. This is a time when you could easily pull a Mark Adams and shun me out, but you didn't. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, you got until Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, and then I'm cutting you off. Offer habit, trust me. There's some paperwork behind the scenes. I wasn't going to say that, but 12:30 p.m. tomorrow. We'll see, Cart. All right. Thank you for watching. Click subscribe. We have another Drunk Scouts coming later this week. We have the Sleepy Awards, our annual end of season college basketball award show, also dropping later this week. Greg Waddell.
Are we going to ask the people for Drunk Scouts, or we already decided who we're going to do?
We should ask the people. It should be Chet or Paolo or Jaden Ivey or other.
Okay, so we'll throw the Twitter poll up there for you to decide. I know everyone picked Jabari by a slim margin last time, but yep, that'll be happening this week as well as the Sleepies. Are we dressing up for the Sleepies?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just making sure.
I mean, we'll wait and do the Sleepies until we know your destination, I guess, because that could affect how the Sleepies goes. But
maybe I announce it at the Sleepies.
Oh, that's actually, yeah, I like that idea. Although,
but also I have a fire commitment video being cooked up right now of me like running outside with backwards hat on and shit. Like it's great.
Okay, good to know. We can air that at the Sleepies regardless.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy your day, Cart. Enjoy your day, everybody watching. Peace.